Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you all had an amazing week. And let me just share again a small incident or whatever, conversation that I had with my colleague, which again gave me an insight into making this particular video. So, the very first day of the week, Monday, one of our colleague, she was like, when she came to the office itself, was very in a sad mode. She was very upset, and she was just doing her work, but not interacting much with anyone. And I could feel, or not only me, probably everyone could feel that she was continuously thinking about something. And so during lunch break, we were trying to, ask her, what happened. And she was like, no, yeah, nothing, let it be. Whatever's happened has happened and gone. And then, after insisting her quite a number of times, she was like, finally, she got ready to share the experience. So I think over the weekend, she was traveling somewhere, or she had just left from her home to go to some place. And at T junction, it's not T or Y junction that you can call. I think it was usually a Y, or it is a Y junction that she was describing. She stopped at the junction waiting for one of her colleague, like a friend, to join her. She stopped her car over there, and she was just waiting. And suddenly, she just happened to move a car a little bit just to make a way for somebody who was behind and wanted to go towards the right side, probably something like that. And she just started the car to make the move so that somebody who wants to go in a certain direction can easily go, while she can just wait for like a couple of seconds, a few minutes more. Now somebody, and now this girl, she was almost like very much inside on the right side. She didn't even join the road, she was inside. And somebody who was supposed to be traveling on the extreme left of the road suddenly decides to come on the right side, comes really inside, bangs her car, and he falls off. The person, he just went ahead and he fell down. The bike skidded and he fell down. Now she was shocked. She's like, I was just thinking, what happened? I didn't even make a move with the car. I was thinking about moving the car so that I can make a space for somebody behind me. And how come, somebody who is supposed to be traveling on the extreme left side is coming extreme to the right, and even entering like almost, going within the right side, trying to move really inside, and he has hit my car. He fell, he got up, and he gave her a look like, what did you do? You just, banged my bike. That was his look when he just got up and he started looking at her. And she's like, I got down from the car, and I was like in a total state of confusion, trying to understand that why he is looking at me as if I'm at a fault. And there is this notion, guys, I feel every day we might see this, that when we see somebody is getting hurt, injured at any level, people just assume that he is the victim or she is the victim, and they accuse the other person. They accuse the other one in that whole interaction to be the culprit. And that's what, she felt when she saw the people around her. And she tried to explain herself. She is like, I didn't do anything. I was just over here. You were supposed to be traveling on the left. Why did you come on the right? And there was whole of this confusion. And then, somehow the things got sorted out. He did damage her car. She still has some, I think her bumper got broken. Like she got a cut to her bumper. The bike that he was riding, I will call it as a scooter. Okay, so it was a very old scooter, it seems. So probably it was already being used beyond its expiry date, probably. And her car was a very new one. And then she goes ahead and she says, at the end while leaving, he's like, you look into your thing, I'll look into my thing. Now, actually, if you go to see somewhere down the line, logically, the one who has, who is responsible for the whole thing was probably supposed to pay the other person for the damage. But in this case, the person acted so well, and again, the surrounding society is also in a similar fashion, that whoever gets hurt is the victim and the other person becomes definitely the culprit. So nobody is questioning anything. and she just let it go. She's like, forget. On a human, like, just being a nice person, she also tried to ask if he needed any sort of a medical help, which he said he doesn't want. And he was all fit and fine. He took his bike up and he went back home. But the whole thing is, now she's like, first and foremost, my car is a pretty new car. It got damaged and I have to pay for it. It's like I have to pay and had to face people as if I am the culprit, whereas I have not done anything. I wasn't at fault at all. I was at my correct place. Somebody comes from somewhere or from nowhere and just hits my car. And this is what one thing, it happens. It happens in many places where somebody will try to show that you are the culprit just to get validation from others that they are right. Sometimes they know for themselves very well. Now, this is in general, okay? Not like related to this incident. Yes, this is an example wherein, a person has tried to show that he is the victim by, being that whatever, got injured, so he becomes the victim and the other person has become the culprit. But anyways, that keeping aside all those things, in general, in our day-to-day lives as well, I have seen certain number of people, especially sometimes at emotional level, at even in relationships, they pretend as if they are the victim, and they showcase that they are the victim to others as well, to get that validation that yes, we are right. They are the ones who are wrong, but then they want to prove to others, and probably they even want to prove it to themselves. No, I am right, in spite of them knowing things very clearly in their head that I am wrong, but I want to prove I am right. I will get validated that I am right, and in that whole, in that whole scenario, I will prove the other person wrong. So sometimes, I think it's very common. It's very common that it happens even at very basic interactions in personal levels, in professional levels, everywhere you'll see somebody making it a thing to everyone around that, I have been hurt, I have been injured, I'm suffering or whatever, just to get that validation that I am right. And the best way to prove I am right is by proving somebody else wrong. This is what happens even in legal systems, right? Where all these court cases happen, where the whole thing, even the person that has actually done wrong is gonna continuously try to prove that they are right. And sometimes it is really bad, sometimes simply somebody who is at just no fault is getting blamed. And I don't know, again, there is all of this concept of karma and all exist. God knows whether it comes back or whether it is really gonna show up someday and make the person realize that, it was a mistake. A small thing of just accepting your mistake and not showing it across that, you were wrong or whatever, you were wrong, and you're trying to show that you are right by putting it on somebody else that yes, you are wrong. But I don't know, maybe this is how the world goes on. And sometimes you have to just, like, let go of these things, just maybe forget and move on. You have to accept this reality that there are people out in this world who are continuously seeking validation for their wrong actions from the surrounding society, from the people that they are living among, by just trying to prove that somebody else is wrong. I am right. I might know for myself that I have done a big mistake, it was all my fault, but that I wanted validation from others, or I want that stamp from others. Oh no, you are correct. So I'm saying I'm correct, and in that process, I'm trying to show the other person to be wrong. Who might, you also know internally for yourself that the other person is not at any fault. But then, again, that's how the world works. And I think the whole system also operates on a similar ground, especially all these legal court cases and all that stuff where both the parties know who is right and who is wrong, but still there is all this battle. So, anyways, that's how it is. We have to live with it and try to, probably, I don't know, maybe find ways as much as possible to stay out of such traps. But yeah, sometimes, it is, in this case, you might be there standing still at one place and something randomly can come and hit you. So, anyways, this was just her experience that she was upset about. And she was upset about the fact that now she has to do the insurance, she has to get the things fixed, she's gonna lose all that, NCB and all that factors. And this is whole thing is because of somebody else's mistake. She had to face people around her who looked at her as if like she was the culprit. Because again, that's how, as I have explained to you, that's how the society is. Nobody takes enough time to think logically. Even on social media, if we see, there are some notions, like, there are certain criterias. This person is in certain criteria zone, and the other person in this criteria zone. So okay, this one has to be always be the wrong one. Pick up all these divorce cases which happen at, all this high status people. We just put the whole blame on whoever we feel is the sort of, we put some tag on that person and we are like, it is she or it is he. We really don't go into finding who is the actual reason. And definitely, I think we shouldn't be falling into anyone's personal life as well. But this is just another example wherein, people just do a judgment. Now it is up to us as individuals. Sometimes better to ignore such people who are passing any sort of judgment against you, and just let it go. Let not allow all these things to spoil our peace of mind. And try to remain cool and calm as much as possible, because every day, I think, day to day basis, we'll have such people coming into our life. We'll have to handle them, and we have to learn how to move above all these things. Okay, I'll leave you all with this small particular example. I'll see you all soon in next week. Till then, take care. Bye bye.